Darkstalkers is amazingly depressing. Now, you might question what that even means, but to describe it simply, there's a lot of beauty in the sadness these characters carry. If you don't know what Darkstalkers is, don't worry, I'll catch you up. Darkstalkers, in simplest terms, is a fighting game created in 1994. Its characters are based on cinematic monsters, mythology, and fairy tales. Now you may be saying, well, Solarts, I never heard of a Darkstalkers before, and if you are saying that, well, shut up. Darkstalkers isn't really popular by name, but if I showed you a picture of Morgan, Lilith, or Felicia, you may recognize them because they are popular, whether it be from like Marvel vs. Capcom or just obscure art you've seen. They're popular, just their main series isn't. And this is weird because the game introduced a lot of concepts that other titles just borrowed from, but Darkstalkers never got the attention that I feel like it deserves for those ideas. Regardless, this isn't about that. I want this video to focus on one of my favorite characters and shine some light on her story. So this is about Hsien-Ko, and she's also known as Lai Lai in other versions. Now I want to make this clear, this isn't about gameplay, tier lists, or anything freaky or weird. It's not going to be anything like that. I just want to focus on her story, how I interpret it, and why I just like it. So let's get started. Hsien-Ko is a Jiangshi. Now, if you're questioning what a Jiangshi is, it just means Chinese hopping vampire. But she didn't start out that way. She used to be just a regular girl from China. Well, as regular as any girl can probably be in Darkstalkers. She was born alongside her twin sister Mei Ling in a small village that trains Senjutsu-shis. What are Senjutsu-shis? Using the definition from Naruto, it's basically the ability to draw natural energy from the user's body. Now, if you're not familiar with fiction terms, that just means magical powers and enhanced senses, most likely. The two sisters were raised by Senjutsu-shis, respected by the village and on track to become masters themselves, until the night of their ceremony. That night, a group of unnatural beings known as Darkstalkers attacked. Their master was killed and their mother sacrificed herself to protect them, but because of this, her soul was trapped in eternal darkness. To save their mother's soul, Hsien-Ko used the Igyo Tenshin technique, transforming into a Jiangshi. Mei Ling then turned into a ward that rests upon Hsien-Ko's head, keeping her from losing control of her darker half. Now, Hsien-Ko lives her life as a Darkstalkers hunter, slaying the same creatures that destroyed her people, while also protecting the innocent. Now, let's pause for a moment. This backstory is insanely dark and maybe a little confusing, so let me clear some things up and explain why I love it. Hsien-Ko's setup is pretty typical. She comes from a village, tragedy strikes, her mother dies. It's nothing really new. But if you dig deeper, it's beautifully depressing. She was supposed to live her life as a Senjutsu-shi master, but in desperation, she threw away her humanity, turning her into something undead, stuck in time, unable to die, just to save her mother, the same person who already sacrificed themselves to save her. It's two selfless acts tied together into one tragedy. The mother sacrifices herself for her daughters, and the daughters sacrifice themselves for their mother. I mean, it's a cycle of love, but I mean, it's also just a cycle of loss, and you could probably say it's convoluted, and maybe it is, but I think that's what makes it feel human. I think it also just highlights Hsien-Ko's love for her family. Now, as a viewer and somebody who probably doesn't know Darkstalkers, you may be questioning, well, how does she know this technique? And it's not really explained, but my guess is that it was taught probably from the village, probably a technique that's forbidden. And I would assume it's forbidden because she needs her sister to even keep control of herself. So, as stated, the only reason she maintains control is because of Mei Ling, her sister, someone who literally has to stay with her at all times to anchor her. And this is another reason why I love Hsien-Ko, the family dynamic. As the youngest of 7 myself, I really value just sibling stuff in media. It's really fucking cool. The fact that Mei Ling not only keeps her in control spiritually, but also fights alongside her makes that relationship feel just genuine. In the games, they argue like siblings do, disagree like siblings do, but they're inseparable. They do anything for each other, and that's something that I love to see. So, what happens next? Well, you should probably play the games if you can, but if not, I'll summarize. Hsien-Ko and Mei Ling continue their quest as Darkstalkers hunters, eventually freeing their mother's soul by defeating countless monsters. Once their goal is achieved, their life force drains away and they prepare to fade into nothingness. But instead, they reincarnate into new lives with no memories of their past a gift that was given to them by their mother. Now, this may sound like the end, but it's not. When they turn 16 in their new life, their powers reawaken thanks to their mother. Jeddah, seeing them as worthy, drags them into the Majigan. Forced to fight, the sisters are eventually consumed by darkness, only to be saved once again by their mother, who this time they don't even remember. After this, they finally return to the human world, living normal lives as normal girls. Now, you might think that this is very convoluted or unnecessary, but honestly, I don't. A mother reincarnating her daughters to give them a better life is deeply understandable. To me, it shows how much she wanted them to live free of the burden of trading or war or tragedy or just hunting. Maybe she thought that becoming a senjutsushi led to her death and Hsien-Ko's transformation and even Mei Ling's sacrifice. Maybe she just wanted them to have a normal home, loving parents, and maybe just simple happiness. I mean, it's literally stated there that she wants them to have happiness. And maybe as a mother, she probably doesn't want them to remember her at all, so they probably wouldn't have to carry that guilt. And whatever the case may be, I think it shows her love. And the only reason I'm saying this is because she reincarnates them into a new life with no new memories of her, with no old memories, with no nothing. And when you look at the ending, when you look where Hsien-Ko comes from versus where she lives now, I think that difference is pretty telling. She used to be from a village, but in her new life, she has a big ass home and she's simply just happy. There's no monsters, there's no things like that. They don't even mention the idea of training. And I think as a mother or as a character, if you reincarnate your children and then you have the power for your children to remember you and or not remember you while also being the same people and doing the same things, but you making the choice to not have them remember you or do the same things that they used to and etc, 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 I think that shows guilt in a mother or sadness. But at the end of the day, it's still a form of love, and this is why I make this claim. Hsien-Ko as a character endures so much, not just once, but multiple times, and it's not just the tragedy itself, it's just her attitude that stands out. She isn't heroic just for the sake of being heroic, she's heroic out of vengeance. She protects innocent lives, yes, but she also hunts monsters for revenge. She hates when others throw their lives away, and she's firm about it, but she doesn't coddle to anyone either. And whether it be from animations or talking, she still has that classic Darkstalkers humor. She can be cute, and obviously she is, but above all of that, she's beautifully tragic. And in my opinion, this is why I love her. Her story feels different from most characters, and honestly, that applies to the entire Darkstalkers cast. It's honestly why I think people should give the series a real chance. It's fun, it's deep, and it's worth exploring. Darkstalkers is a fighting game that feels fun, chaotic, fast, but it's very enjoyable. It can be very wacky at times, but it can be very brutal, and I think both sides are perfectly fine. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I really enjoyed talking about one of my favorite characters. Sorry if I didn't mention everything, like her design for instance. It's one of my favorite designs. It's also why she's one of my favorite characters, but this isn't a video about her design and why I love it and things of that nature, but it's still a really good design. But yeah, I just wanted to keep the focus on the topic at hand. Darkstalkers is tragically beautiful, and I wanted to focus on Hsien-Ko. With that being said, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully we get a new Darkstalker soon. I don't know, but a lot of fans have been asking for it. Anyway, as stated once more, with that being said, I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. It sucks because I'm doing it twice now, but I gotta repeat myself because it is my outro. Oh yeah, this is stupid, but peace.
Thank you, Hsien-Ko.
Jeez, why do I always get stuck with the physical stuff, huh?
Thanks to your efforts, this land is now safe for maidens.
Whoa, what does that make me?
Damn you, woman, how dare you! So sorry.